All right, hey, we're going to get started with some more illustrations today. Let me see. Let me check my signal here. Make sure we're coming through A-OK, and then we'll get to work here in a moment. Let's see. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Yeah, it sounds like I'm coming through okay. Good. All right, I'm going to post here real quick on the Reddits and the Discord that I'm up and running. Okie doke, and then we'll get started here. If you don't know, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I've been focusing my attention mostly on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for the past 5 years. There's a slew of links in the description down below you can check out if you're interested. Most of the work that I have is extensive free previews. So you can check out the stuff that I do if you think it's cool. Consider making a purchase to help support the channel. Let's see. I've got a... Let me fix this stuff here. So I create role-playing games, right? So we'll have an idea like having more 5e style combat for Spelljammer ships, or how to explore space, or building wild jamming systems, like building random system generators. We do all that stuff. We play test it. When it works, we make the words good. Editor helps us figure out how to do it right. Once it's right, we can take all the text, drop it into Photoshop like this. And you see there's all these little gaps and stuff that are in the page. This is where we can go in. We can then fill in the gaps with illustrations. So we'll copy this page. We'll lift it over here to Photoshop, and we'll drop it in, bloop, and then we do illustrations, plop, like that. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to continue that effort now, and let's see. It looks like I got my screen set up A-OK. Let's get rid of that line right there. Bloop, there we go. And beep, 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 beep. Mad shout out to the Spelljammer community for being a supporter of the stuff that I do in general. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you'll get notification when I go live whenever I do, at Phil Kearney on the Twitter X platform. Best way to support the channel: like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notifications of when I am live. I'm here 6 days a week, and then I publish on Sundays. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing. See you off there into the distance. So let's get to work. I'm pretty happy with how this cluster of asteroids and these planets feel. I think I want to just touch on these real quick, like... I think I want to have just a little bit of reflective light happening along the bottom ridge here. Maybe not that intense. More like that. There was a, I don't know if I'll do a tear out video about this. Probably not, because it's too extensive of a topic to really just, I don't know. I could do a little vignette piece about this, but the idea of blending Planescape and Spelljammer is compelling, and I've been enjoying that for maybe a couple decades, like at least 3 of my Eberron campaigns from 1 to 20 have involved both Spelljammer and Planescape, and then in 3rd edition we spent a considerable time in Planescape, but not necessarily aboard ships. And in the 2nd edition, when both of those settings came out, like in early 90s. I think Spelljammer actually came out in 89. The Grognards really shot at me, let me know. But the Grognards. I'm imagining a theater balcony full of old gamers grumping about old editions. It's awesome. And this rock is too... I'm glad I came back here. This rock has got some weird fuzz on it. So I stream art 6 days a week, and Monday. Well, I stream art Monday through Friday in the mornings. Right now it's Spelljammer. When this book is done, it'll be Eberron. I currently stream Eberron in the evenings on Mondays and Thursdays, and it should be the same tonight. There's some weirdness on my calendar today that may skew my schedule, but luckily I have Monday off. So I'll be able. So Mondays and Thursdays we do Eberron art. So I'll be definitely on Monday to do so. It also means that I'll have a Monday the 15th. I'll have a long stretch of illustration here in the morning, which I'm excited about. And then my martial powers at lunchtime. We'll be able to, let's see, on Friday at lunchtime we're doing a bugberry gruul barbarian is what we're building sample characters using the power system that I've been developing for 5th edition for the past year. We're just now in a play testing. I was going for first tier. We did play testing at my home table by just using the system with our characters from level 12 to 20 in my home table. But I was still developing mechanics and tweaking stuff and seeing how the team used it and pushed it around a little bit. And now I'm pretty happy with it as a base package that I'll be able to... I want to move forward and make sure that the tech that we've installed into the system is going to feel good at low levels. And so far, building the characters that I've been building for 3rd level are fucking cool as shit, man. Like, so seriously, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the martial power system, it's a separate playlist on my channel here, and I streamed that. I'm building the campaign for the playtest on Saturdays, and that can be dry content at times because it's me, doing design work, sussing mechanics out, and flow of adventure and different challenges and stuff like that. So, like, if you're a new DM, that is not the most easily consumed content, but it certainly demonstrates the effort required to build a good campaign. There's at least that going for us, right? But I'll tend to digress. Let me get that blurred in here a little bit better. Want to blend that in a little more solid than it is. There. Dude. Alright, that feels better. I think I am now yet again content with this piece. More stars. Star splash on a black background. Stars. Let's take this. Let's duplicate that. Then let's take select filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Perfect. Fade those down a touch. Merge. merge that down as well. Let's poke at these things for. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Let's see. Yep, I think I'm good with that. We'll call this bottom. Top. Let's fix that smudgery. Good. Reference enough. Let's see. All right, let's go spelunking. Oh, for those that are interested, let's see. Full playlist is here. We created this book cover back around episode 15. So there's a playlist. I have a Discord community. We're playtesting martial powers probably starting towards the end of next month. So you can join the Discord community here if you're interested in that. My Patreon, there's additional content for you guys to explore. If you're interested in seeing other playtest content that is eventually going to probably be put into a Kickstarter. Let's see. Let's get that out of the way for the moment, and let's go peel open some of my previous works. Let's see. Books. Collaboration. Let's see. Gathering the Realms. That was what I was supposed to be looking for. Nice. Outer Planes, Inner Planes. Here we go. So here's a piece that I had done. This was a cover I got commissioned to do, Gathering the Realms, which is a color translation for like a color banish or using color magic in the Forgotten Realms. This got built after I was commissioned to make these this inner plane map. And I also created this Outer Planes map, which breaks down the color coding of each of the outer planes if you're using color mana, like Acheron, white, blue, black. What is that? Bant. Limbo is pure chaos, red. Pandemonium is black, red, and green. And here's just depictions of each of them. So, was it Carcery is 12. And then there's 16, was that Gehenna? No, Acheron. There we go. Yeah, just so like all the little snippets, like this is a full page here. So I was commissioned to resolve the color language for what colors each plane should be, and then I created a illustration representing each of those planes. So this was a hella fun piece to do. I loved making this piece. It was so fun to do. These gears were fun as well. At the distance that you look at them, they look pretty good. But when you get in close, you can start seeing some tomfuckery going on inside there. But goddamn. All right. So anyway, that's I love this. I love this. That's like I would probably swap out the official. This project had purchased the alternate. I can't sell the MTG color mana tokens directly. But I can put them in pieces, so I'm going to start. I will be doing so. But yeah, this is a really fun piece to build. I'll probably rebuild this and make it a poster or something. Here's the elementals map that we had done. The different types of the color representation for the inner planes. Negative energy, black. Positive energy, whites. Fire, red. Earth, red. Water, blue. Air, blue. And then a Toril where all the stuff would mix together would be green. So white, blue, black. White, blue, black, and red combine to create green on a planet. Green is like life force and natural course and evolution and all like life, nature theory, as it were. But that can't happen without all these other elements combining. Positive energy for growth, negative energy for entropy, and spark of fire inside oneself, and the physicality of earth, and the flow of water, and the breath of air. These are all needed to generate green, or like living mortal life on a world. So that's what this is all about. So, but what I want to do is I want to pilfer it. So we're going to. We can get rid of the text, and we'll take air, water, fire, earth. Fuck it, we'll just take them all. So let's duplicate that. I can close this off. No, I don't need to save that. I do want to save this. I'm feeling really good about this. We'll leave it around just in case. I don't think we need Toril. That is definitely something I need to do. I need to put down a backdrop. Let's see. Here. Looks like the present, right? Currently thinking do that, or I'm gonna put these both in the same thing. Can I take fire and drop that down? Maybe we need to leave those separated. We'll figure it out. I shouldn't suss on it too hard. Let's just resolve the sky first, and then we'll fuck around with the rest of it. Excuse me. Holy Hannah. After this top part, we have 2 illustrations. No, 1 actual illustration left in the book, and then all we have is the appendix. The Lazaraxis chapter, I'm still finishing up the layouts for that. So for the first half of it, we can start putting in the tokens and maps and stuff. So I think that's what we're going to. We'll have an illustration. We'll probably be done with this current piece here, maybe on Monday, and then on Tuesday we'll start it. Here, let's check my calendar. I suspect we'll be done with this page on Monday the 15th, and then on the 16th we can start on the last page, and it's just a planet and orbiting. It's just a planet. So hopefully we'll have that done by the 19th. And so then the book illustrations will be done by the 19th, and then we're only working on Lazaraxis and finishing up the maps and tokens. So we'll be able to start doing that, and we'll have 22nd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more days. We might not have it done until like February 10th. Depending on how much how quickly we can resolve the tokens and stuff. But it's incredibly soon. Incredibly soon that this is going to publish. I know that I'm just simply running out of things to do. And then I have to decide, if mincing on this thing for a few minutes, like for a day or two, is going to be worth it or not. But yeah, we're super close to done. And I know I could put the brakes on the other projects that I'm working on and only work on this, but that is just that places a manic level of stress and demand and expectation on timelines. And if I didn't hit my goal and decide to do nothing but this for the rest of the month, then I would be concerned about burning out and losing cadence with the other stuff that I'm doing. I'd rather take an extra week or two and miss my January 31st deadline and stay, because as soon as I do that, this is done, and then I have then I'm working on the other projects. So like setting those projects down completely, it just doesn't feel right. I've already set down Eberron more than I wanted to get this thing off my plate. Eberron was my primary project before Spelljammer erupted a year ago. So like the Eberron adventure we've been creating has really been put on a back burner. I mean, seriously, it's like just Mondays and Thursday nights for like 2 hours a plop. That's only 4 hours a week. That's not how you get a 100-page book done. So I mean, mad respect to Stuart and Andy for their patience with that effort. Thank you. So as soon as this is, I'm going to erase all this down here. I don't think I need this drippage. I want to be like this. Good. I'm not very talkative this morning. I can see that. I'm tired. I've not been getting good sleep lately. I'm hoping that changes tonight. Get this fade in. Almost there. And now that I've done all that, let's take a big dollop of dark and do it again. Oops, I need to do that on a separate layer if I'm going to do this correctly. I'm going to fade that inside of the block of this. So this here is our base, and then we're dropping this darker bit into it, hopefully not expanding beyond it. There, good, that feels right. Drop down the opacity a bit to make it easier to get this rubbed in there. We were talking about, oh yeah, Planescape. This is some empty brain time that I could be spending on that. Yeah, there was a great conversation that kicked up. It was in Reddit about blending Planescape in with oh my god, and we were sitting here looking at that map even. Outer Planes. All right, so the way that I work, Astral. I actually spent. There's a video about this. If you check out my Spelljammer videos, Travel Time in the Astral Sea. I posted that a few weeks ago. It's in the video playlist as opposed to the live stream playlist. But yeah, so the idea is that the Outer Planes is separated from these material worlds by the astral plane, and you cross through the astral plane, you'll end up in the outer planes, like heaven and all these things. You know, Mechanis, Arcadia, blah blah blah. And so normally from you can't get to those planes directly from the astral unless there is a what they call a color pool, which is basically a circular portal that can also act as a scrying pool to dive into that other plane. And most of these times they're depicted as like large or smaller portals to be able to pass through to that plane. And so if the DM, but there's no set rule about how big a portal is supposed to, how big a color pool can be. So you can have color pools that are large enough to pass a ship through, whether a craft or a vessel, up to you. but typically a space that, like a 50-foot space, is typically sufficient to squeeze most ships through. Though, like a 100-foot color pool would certainly be wide enough to accommodate most ships, except for Elven Star Moths. They're unusually, and yeah, Star Moths are clumsily large. But yeah, so if you have a color pool, it'll drop into a specific location in that outer plane, and so if it's a large enough color pool to pass a ship through, you can just literally just fly through it. So then you can take your ship to another plane. There's also conduits, which are like wormholes that lead you from a physical location in the material world, or any world, honestly. A conduit is a wormhole that takes you from anywhere in reality and puts in the multiverse and puts you in someplace else in the multiverse. Like, you could go from the plane of air to the 15th plane and the abyss. There's no limits or rules. It's a tunnel. It could be a one-way tunnel. It could be a two-way tunnel. And it could be anywhere, and it could lead anywhere. So they're basically ad hoc ex dos machina for a DM to drop a team into wherever you want the adventure to go by having them walk down the wrong tunnel one day. The Traveler in Eberron is kind of like that. There's one of the gods called the Traveler. You'll just get lost. You'll find yourself in a mist, and then you're someplace completely different. And this is typical in Zendrick, the primal, the continent known for primal magic and fallen titans that have all sorts of weird enchantment energy floating around that continent. Say continent one more time, asshole. Yeah, conduits, color pools, conduits. And then you can just have direct dumps. And so this is something that's not detailed as far as I know in any of the books. But the way that I play it, my Spelljammer, my Planescape campaigns, there are a few worlds. There is Acheron, which is an endless sky of massive iron cubes. And each cube is like, this could be a 3,000-mile cube, or these could all be like 50-foot cubes or 2-mile cube or like 300 feet over here, whatever. These cubes could be any size, but they're just tumbling through space and they collide with each other. And it's this is where Grumsh and the Orcish damned go. Or any orc, basically, is collected by Grumsh, who lives here, and so these two blocks could ram into each other, and your entire civilization could live on the face of this rock, of this cube, and it has separate gravity planes. So, but it's spherical gravity, but there's square surfaces. Go figure. So this plane has the same gravity, and then it switches to this plane has a gravity. This one, and this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one. They all have separate planes on the same surface, so they're very angular like that. So, yeah, this could be a 5,000-mile cube, and your entire world is right here. And then this thing comes in, it goes blip, and the entire thing is deleted. So that's how this world works. But it's just an endless sky with just cubes drifting through it. So this could be, and there's the way that I run it is that this is just that if you concentrate on this realm long enough and you're flying through the astral, you'll just bleed into it eventually, and you'll just be there. Same thing happens. There's a couple layers that can happen with Acheron, Carcery. Carcery are massive tunnels that just lead down and through to other planes, different, further deeper layers. And these tunnels can be anywhere from 5 feet to 5 miles in size, which means that they can just dump out as maws. Like this could be like if you're in a spelljamming ship and you're flying through the astral sea and you're concentrating on I want to go to Pandemonium, then you'll eventually see a mosaic of like polka dots, and as you get closer, they're all tunnels. As you get closer, you can get pulled into these tunnels and fly your ship down these tunnels into the depths of Pandemonium, or find your way to the River Styx, land your boat, and then float the River Styx if you wanted to. from Pandemonium into the Abyss, into Avernus, or Carcery. Thank you. Hades. That's right. Gehenna, Fedor, Acheron. Limbo has Endless Sky. So Limbo works. It's same thing with for Acheron. Same thing for oops, I just locked up. So I'm gonna have to close that out. So places you can just spill into from the astral. You can spill into Limbo from the astral. Things just eventually start breaking down from being boring nothingness and a wash of silvery light into a giant eyeball floating past you. It's like, we've reached Limbo, apparently. And then you just dive into the depths of Merp. So Limbo, Pandemonium has the tunnels that you can get led down. Acheron is open sky that you can just spill into. Limbo has sky that you can just spill into. So basically, it's these 4 planes here. Isgard has the World Tree, which is separate. It's not something that, like, you can go from world to world by ascending or descending like Drazzle. But it doesn't spill out directly into the astral. So, funnily enough, the only 4 planes, it's these 4 planes here. Limbo, Pandemonium, Limbo, Pandemonium, Mechanus, and Acheron. These are the only 4 planes that spill directly into the astral sea. But they do. And if you wanted to, you could have a large enough color pool to lead to every border town in the Outlands that bridge from one plane into the Outlands. So that's a way to get Spelljammer into the Outlands, and then you just and then there's Sigil, which is you can't you could allow ships to fly up to Sigil if you wanted to be able to interact and come and go from Sigil through the Outlands to the border towns, through the color pool into the Astral if you wish, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to dive with your campaign, because this is all just, supplemental cockamamie concept stuff. But doing that sets up a lot of fun stuff. Like if there is a like, for instance, if there's a color pool at every single border town, those border towns really become just that much more important because they give you access to the rest of the multiverse, which also means that those are siege points. Like if there is a color pool to the Abyss and the demons wanted to push the Blood War out into the astral sea so they can go invade prime material worlds by drifting through the astral to there, then there would need to be an angelic blockade to prevent an armada of infernal ships or abyssal ships from any lower upper realm. All of them have different mobility reasons to mobilize as eternal armies, and so there would have to be blockades and standoffs and locks on these different color pools. So I would actually not recommend. I suggested it here, of course, but I don't necessarily recommend implementing a color pool at every every border town, because that creates too much conflict and chaos. But what I do recommend is having key color pools located inside of the planes directly that then do become sensible siege points. Like that color pool needs to be defended in both inside as well as guarded against externally. Like if you can just take a color pool into Grazit's realm, then angels may be motivated to just fly legions of angels through that portal to start screwing up Grazit's day. And since it's its home plane, he can get killed there. So that's like a risky place to be. So having color pools leading to the interior of a plane is a massive risk to the powers that control that plane. I will say you can have a color pool that's smaller than 50 feet, so that you're limited on what can pass through. But even then, you can just have a conga line of a billion demons pouring into space, and then having an angelic guillotine basically at the other side of it to cleave through them all. But that's much more controlled than, like, say, a 500-foot space that you could push through hundreds of fighter craft through per round. That would just be too much. So having a small containable size, like maybe a 10 or 15 or maybe even up to 20 feet space for some of the portals, or some of the border towns, that would be far more reasonable to be able to manage. But for the most part, I haven't done that. I've avoided it because I didn't want to have to deal with those conundrums. I figure if there's a color pool that leads to an interior space of a plane, then that has to be defended both externally and internally. So there's kind of a Cold War that exists around that gate, and so you can set up like blockade runs and stuff like that inside of your campaign through the Astral Sea into the plane of choice that you want. And that's just some basic stuff. Like I've had a campaign where the team was flying ships through the tunnels of Pandemonium, which the winds in there cause psychic damage, but ships are immune to psychic damage, so that's good. But the razor wind that comes through can shred a ship if it doesn't have enough damage resistance. So metal ships are far more durable to sustain flight through Pandemonium. While, say, drifting into Acheron, since it's endless skies and every kingdom is on a block, you're going to fly into that realm. You'll eventually be able to fly to that location anyway. I actually think that Acheron being a staging ground for the word I'm looking for, god damn it, is orcs. Thank you. Since these giant blocks are made out of iron, it's pretty obvious to see that orcs can build ships from iron and fly out en masse from Acheron. And I was just talking about how it would be bad if the Abyss had an open door to be able to flow into the Astral with their legions, but because they're raw chaos. Having the orcs fed in from Acheron actually explains where the inhuman war of orcs spreading through the multiverse via Spelljammer actually makes sense, because they can build their ships in what is effectively their heaven, and what is effectively their Valhalla of orcish warriors ending in this place. And what do you get to do? You get to build spaceships to fly from heaven to go attack the material plane again. So you could also rule that what do they call it? Oh god, there was a word in Planescape. Patrons, petitioners. Thank you. The word is petitioners. Petitioners are souls or natives to the plane that they exist on, and they're kind of stuck there. You can't take petitioners out of their. They just can't leave their realm. So maybe you could set that you have to be a certain CR to no longer be considered a petitioner, and so you have to get CR5 maybe is the minimum to be able to actually leave the plane yourself unsummoned, just to be able to wander out of it. You have to be a high enough level to be able to do that. Or you could determine that no one can just wander out of the plane unless there's someone to do so. That is a contradiction to what you see in the Blood War, so you might not want to have that with everything, but again, that could be a CR issue. But the Synod Avernus allowed for virtually any CR, demon and devil, to interact in Avernus, which is the 9 hells being invaded by the Abyss. So that doesn't make sense. Which is why, again, I've generally avoided just having an open door to all of the planes. But the Orcish Armada would be limited by time and resources on Acheron. So I like that idea, so I run with it. There's also the idea that, like, for instance, I like this swirly stuff we have going on inside of here. This is really cool. And Limbo's not that much different from the Astral Sea anyway. So Githzerai maintain harmony temples where they're... See, the Limbo is a constant flux state, but if you maintain concentration, you can create a pocket of stable area, and depending on your the rank or the CR of your character, what tier your character is. Like, we have ranks from 1 to 5. We've done episodes about that with crew rank and commander level, translating the ranks. But you can use rank to determine the scale of realm that you can maintain in Limbo. 500 feet, 1 mile, 10 mile, 100 mile, 1,000 miles. Like, those are areas, and then you can use actions to make changes to specific areas depending on scale. Like by zooming into different levels, you can then focus your concentration to change the geography of the area that you're controlling. But if you lose concentration, it starts to erode down the size from down from whatever size it was, scaling down from 1,000 to 100 miles to 10 miles to 1 mile to 5,000 feet to 500 feet. From 1 mile to 500 feet to 50 feet to 5 feet, and then it goes away completely. So those are your scale of erosion if there's no one maintaining concentration on a realm's shape or its composition. So that's fun. I could go on about that. Maybe I'll do a dive into harmony temples. Mechanus, although it's open sky that just spills into the astral, is rarely an issue because the Mechanus, the Modrons, are so organized that if it's not on their itinerary to attack to invade the astral, they don't. And none of them spontaneously decide to either. They just do they just do what their calendar tells them to do. And so if you keep invading the astral realm, invading the astral sea off of the Modron's agenda, then they'll never do it. They'll just never have the inspiration to do it. So that's fun. Pandemonium we talked about with the tunnels. You have to know what tunnels will lead you. Otherwise, they'll just take you forever to nowhere. It'll just be a loop, and it'll eventually just dead end, including you, into some massive creature's lair. Like, for instance, pulling open that map again. Okay, so that mosaic of dots that turn into tunnels, they don't all lead somewhere. A lot of these could just be hollowed out holes for 7,000 foot large spiders that just eat anything that comes down its pipeline. It's like a funnel spider. So if you fly your ship in there, you'll get stuck and you'll eventually just get eaten by giant spiders. So like flying down a tunnel, you gotta be confident you know which fucking tunnel you're gonna fly down. Get smashed by bricks here. You'll eventually end up fighting flying Modrons over here. So most of these places are pointless to dive into, other than they can lead to a border town, which will eventually lead to the Outlands. So that can be a destination, but almost all of those, like I'm demonstrating there, most of these planes don't have any motives or reason to dive into. Like Acheron is the only one with anything close to a motive. Anyway, Bob's your uncle. There you go. So those are some of the ideas around navigating ships into the Planescape setting. It's pretty casual. You don't need to do a lot with it. Just be smart from campaign to campaign, thinking about how doors, what can go, like how doors can be opened and what can come through them if they do, to determine whether something is possible or not. And limiting scale, making sure that things are small enough to prevent things from coming through that you don't want to, and large enough to accommodate the stuff that you do. Honestly, I hadn't thought about border towns beyond. It doesn't seem like I counted them out a long time ago, because like it seems like there's too much chaos and trouble there. Like I was describing earlier, it's just like it didn't seem like it would cause a lot more chaos and conflict to occur in the border towns if there was huge portals, color pools that just dumped into the Astral Sea. That would just be, they'd become contentious, and that, I think that would break the vibe of the place in general. Like it'd just be a war zone. So I just don't like that aesthetic, which is why I've avoided it. But now I'm starting to think, what if I can suss out a sensible way for me to have border towns access the Astral, and is it okay? And doing that opens up the Outlands to spelljamming ships, and doing that means that theoretically a ship can fly to Sigil. Or maybe they can't. Maybe the position of Sigil is like an illusion, so you can fly towards it, but you'll always see it, but you'll never reach it. That might be an okay way to resolve that. That actually makes a lot of sense. I'm good with that. And you can't just teleport to it because the locations are too vague. Because all you see is like a faint. Like you have to be able to see the location that you're going to. Like if you're a 5-foot creature, you need to be able to pick out a 5-foot space. Otherwise, you're just kind of guessing. And then your percentages get ugly for teleporting. That's important to think about. Although, if you have the right key, there should be a door large enough for a Spelljammer to fly through into Sigil. Nope. Dollop. Drop some stars in there, make it feel soupy. Good. Let's see how that works. So let's stitch all these up into bloop, sky. See how that works. Duplicate that layer and conceal it, and then drop the size of it. Get rid of water, air. If I pulled those in over here. Transform. That feels pretty good. How are we doing on time? So, okay, I still got 10 minutes. Yeah, I got 10 minutes. I'm doing okay. So, we're almost done for today. I'm going to get some sleep tonight and get on earlier tomorrow. I was 20 minutes late today and tomorrow from where I'd like to normally start streaming. So, yeah. I've got some weirdness going on in my schedule today. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to play out, but if everything goes as intended, I should be back on tonight to do more Eberron token artwork in about 11 and a half hours ish. Typically like around 7:30. It's about 7:45 here in Seattle right now, so around 7:30 p.m. is when I typically do Eberron stuff. But we'll see what the timing works out like. And so if I can, I will certainly be here. If I can't, I'll be here on Monday, that's for sure. But yeah, we're going to continue this illustration and probably finish it tomorrow. I do want to make oozes and magma, and I want to figure out how to do that stuff. I don't want to run away from it. It seems like a worthwhile endeavor to suss out. So I want to do that. So I'll have these 4 elements. I'll have the 4 base elements over here, and then I'll have the quasi elements over here, or the pair elemental over here. And if it doesn't feel too crowded, then I'll continue running with it. We'll have to see how it pans out, though. I mean, I don't 100% know. Earth, fire. How does air look over here? It could be like that. Air, earth, fire. Yeah, I can do like this. I got room for 4 more. I can do that. I can put labels over all of them. Air, earth, fire, water. So I want to lift up air and water. No, air and fire. That. Probably water like this. I am tired today. Coffee. Yawn equals coffee. Yeah, and then we'll do Uzi stuff. That feels pretty good. But should it be over here more? And if it is, should I shift tilt? That feels good. I can do that. Fire. Two, three, four over here. And that'll work. I think we should have the space to be able to put little labels. Problem. What if I instead did this to here? fire to here, water to here. Oops. Dumbass. There. Now I can't get the fire. Yeah, this is a fool's errand. A fool's errand! But I do like that it's positioning these better, so no complaint. Quality retained. Huh. Let's grab oh, God, that looks good. Perfect. Holy crap, that's fucking perfect. Nice. Okay, so yeah, we can do that. This will be pair elements. Black dot. Perfect. Magma ooze. Ice. And smoke. Ooze should be over here. Ice should be in the darker bits because it's got so much light and contradiction. Magma up by fire, that feels okay. Smoke, ooze. Yeah, we'll do like that. Magma. We know how to do magma. We just did a whole page of magma. We can do that. Yeah. Ice. Okay, sure. Let's do some ice. No, that is not the way we want to do this. Let's do. This was the right idea here. Oh, fun. Hold on. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, shit. There's my timer. My coils were just getting heated up. It's my own fault for having to sleep in. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and mince on this for a minute and then stop. We're going to, yeah, like I said, if everything goes well, we should be back in about 11 hours for us to continue working on Eberron creature token art. We'll be back tomorrow morning to continue working on this. I'm very looking forward to doing it. And then we'll have tomorrow afternoon, our lunch stream will be building a Bugbear Gruul Barbarian for the Martial Power System that we'll be playtesting at 3rd level. Saturday, we're going to work on the Rubble Belt campaign that we're using to showcase and playtest the Martial Power System in the first place. And then on Sunday we'll have a prepared video that we'll publish about something in Spelljammer. I don't necessarily know what yet, but something will become obvious to us to publish something about, because we do that every Sunday. Maybe I'll talk about portals. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what I talk about. But and then on Monday, it's a holiday for me. I'll have the day off. Go Unions. And so I'll stream again here in the morning. This particular illustration should be done. So we'll be working on the last illustration in the formal part of the book, and then we'll just be on to appendices. At lunchtime, we'll build out Izzet, and Izzet Artificer is what we'll do. That makes a ton of sense, right? For the Martial Power System, maybe like make it a goblin artificer. Yes, that's fucking kobold. Yashina. No, goblins, right? Yeah, goblins that they run around. So yeah, we'll do a goblin. Izzet Artificer, Battlesmith maybe? I don't know. We'll see what makes the most Izzetly sense for when we do. So that'll be our Martial Powers lunch on Monday, and then Monday night we'll be back to do more Eberron token art. If we weren't able to do so on Thursday, sure. Otherwise, we'll just continue what we were working on tonight, and then Tuesday through the rest of the week we'll just continue to flow like it normally does. I'll be working on slowly trudging my way through Light of Zaraxis in the page layouts in the evening off stream when you guys aren't looking. Try to get through I still have 10 pages to resolve, so I'm sludging my way through that. And yeah, once this the illustration next week. Hey, Bell and friends. My day's just wrapping up. I'm doing my outro right now, my plans for the future. I'll be back tomorrow morning to continue this illustration. Like I was saying, I could be back tonight. I'm not sure what my schedule is like tonight, but under normal circumstances, I'd be here Thursday night creating creature tokens for virtual tabletop or black and white versions to print for D&D games. So I like how this is going to end. I'm going to end up doing a lot of chiseling. Like, I'm going to chisel on it like I have this earth planet here. This is a chunk of earth. Here's a chunk of air, chunk of water, chunk of fire. This will be ice, ooze, magma, and smoke for the para-elemental compositions. And these are the standard compositions here. And then we have unusual compositions down here. The para-elementals are over here. We don't need a ring of moons, but we have the cloud cluster that we have illustrated here. And then we have the asteroid belt that we have illustrated here. So yeah, these are planets. This is a Spelljammer. Spelljammer for Dungeons and Dragons is a setting. It's like space pirates and like Treasure Planet, but like fantasy magic and stuff. So yeah, there's different planets and moons and asteroids and stars and black holes and stuff like that that have a fantasy bend to it. So, yeah. I've been, we're on episode 296. Here's the, in the drop down here, here's the full playlist. We've been building this for the past year here on stream, and it should be publishing at the end of the month. Or maybe the first week or so of February, depending on how fast I can get the things done. But this thing is imminently close to publishing, and since you're new to the team, I'd love to have you like and subscribe if this stuff is interesting to you, because I stream every day of the week. Well, I stream Monday through Saturday, and then on Sunday on Saturday I create a document that, like a video. Like if you check out if you go to here, since you're new, hi, welcome to the mix. Here, if you go to my videos, here's a slew of different video vignettes that I've created about different concepts and ideas that are inside of this book. So it's 106 pages. The back 20 are a conversion guide for Lattice Araxis to use all of these mechanics in a pre-built Eberron adventure. The book deals with scale a lot. So like it's about ship combat, like the 5-foot scale. Everybody knows people running around on deck stabbing each other with swords. But then there's fighter craft that fit within a 50-foot space, and the normal vessels that you have that can go up to 500 feet in space. So you have 500-foot scale, 50-foot scale, and 5-foot scale. And this book is about a seamless mapping system to be able to depict these different scales of combat at the same time on separate maps. Like in a virtual tabletop, you can have like a 100 by 100 inch grid where you can partition off sections to be able to interact at different scales with ships at the same time. So I can be fighting you on deck of the ship here at the 5-foot scale with your creatures, but I could also be having my pilot on this ship engaging combat and firing ballistas and stuff at this squadron of ships. And then if you take it out to the fleet, your characters can command the entire fleet one against each other. And then here's a battle, basically a battle asteroid city that's in the Lattice Araxis adventure. That's your characters siege this to stop them from destroying a world. So you like your background? You look like butterflies. Yeah, they're supposed to. They were built that way on purpose. So these are called star moths. I really got to get offline here, but you're making me geek out for a second. So here's a star moth, and we built a for people that play D&D and that end up buying this thing. There's about 80 tokens that are included with the PDF. Here, let me show you the fighter craft here real quick. Flitter. There you go. So here's the 5-foot scale. Here's the pilot helm. This is the top deck. You can see over here. Here's the interior of it. The pilot sits here. There's a ballista, and there's 2 smaller scale anti-personnel. They call them harpoon flingers. They're basically they're basically harpoon flingers, like Gatling gun sort of thing that throw spears at people. This is an Eldritch cannon that if you're magically inclined, you can pump mana into it to deal siege damage like a laser. It's within reach of the person at the helm. But this could also be like this interior space can hold a slew of soldiers, or it could be decked out to be like a bedroom suite, like for like a small yacht sort of thing. And there's different craft. It's like here's the Neogi Spiderling. It's like a spider, right? The back opens up, so you can also it's a personnel carrier. It's got a front end cannon here with the ballista, and it's got the top deck. It's got the anti-personnel stuff. But all these legs act as piercing spears, so you can get involved in melee combat. So we have rules for melee combat between ships. Kind of, if you ever saw that the anime Outlaw Star, where they had like the spaceships had robotic limbs that could fight and grab and maneuver things around. We have that in here as well. So you can have ship combat like these star moths. These are all giant scimitar blades that are sharpened on the front prow of the ship, so if it sweeps through, it can cut at your ship and deal damage that way. Fun stuff, but basically D&D combat at the 50 and 500 foot scale of movements. That's kind of what this book is all about. So yeah, if you think that stuff is cool, like I said, I'll be back. This is the end of my stream for now. I do all the illustrations for the entire book, and And so I'll be back to continue painting these planets. And I have one more illustration after this before the book is done. Then I've got a bunch of map and tokens I have to process and do some page layouts. And then we'll publish it on DMsGuild. So there you go. But yeah, I got to go for now. Anyone else that's checking out the channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I have stuff up every day. Sometimes multiple times a day, depending on what I got going on. But right now, what I got going on is I got to exit. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Belle, for swinging by. I am out.